Hey everybody, it's Professor Kai here. Welcome to this mini series of videos on the ethics of AI. So I want to do this mini series because AI is really on everybody's mind these days, and that's understandable because generative AI has been really quietly transforming the way we work, and for some of us, even in our personal life, just last summer, I went to Portugal with my girlfriend, and I basically had ChatGPT draft a plan for my vacation, and it kind of worked out. So a lot of us are using AI, and with technology, this transformative, right? It's important we consider the ethics of its development as well as the ethics of its use, and also some big picture idea of how is it going to really impact our society and maybe our planet in the long run, right? So um, the overall context of this series is really set in, think about the world we live in. We're in a very polarized society, right? So when people talk about AI, especially when people are discussing the ethics of it, the pros and cons of AI, people tend to fall on two ends of a spectrum, right? So they either hold a very hopeful view and say, AI is good, or a concerned view that sees AI as dangerous or scary, right? So the hopeful view says, AI is going to help us do work more efficiently. It's going to do all the boring stuff that we don't do anyways. It's going to make our lives easier, uh, you know, uh, and it's going to free us up to do more interesting work, right? And also, it's going to free us up to really just enjoy life. And then the concern view really primarily are saying, well, AI is becoming really smart. AI can do what we can do, but only faster and possibly even better, right? Well, what's there for us, right? Are AIs going to replace us? Specifically, really, we're saying our AI is going to take our jobs, right? And we, if that happens, what do we do? And I'm a professor of engineering and computer science, right? And especially for my computer science students, the second view is becoming very real, right? When we think of ChatGPT, one of the first thing we know ChatGPT is very good at is entry level coding, right? Basic coding work. You type some prompt commands in there, and ChatGPT just spit it out for you, right? And so students are, I think, fairly concerned about their future career, what's going to happen. So with this series, I want to really address both of these viewpoints, right? And I want to bring a bit more awareness and nuance to the conversation, to a conversation that's honestly becoming a bit too black and white, too dualistic, right? To the hopeful view, I want to ask the question, is AI actually good for us? And what are some of the concerns, right? And to the concerned view, I want to really address this question of, are we going to be replaced by AI? So before I start, I want to acknowledge the inspiration for this mini series. So I actually heard a podcast uh, by a philosopher, Madeline Lay, based in TU Delft. I really love her podcast. She has quite a she has a beautiful way of putting things into perspective, I think. So the podcast is called "Will I Be Automated?" Right. So Madeline in this podcast actually address these two viewpoints, right? This topic of AI and these two viewpoints of the positive and the concerned viewpoints from her perspective as a philosopher. What I'm hoping to do with these videos is really bring in my perspective as an engineer, as a computer scientist, and as a higher education educator. Um, as of now, I've got this is episode zero. I'm gonna do this episodically because I'm starting to learn how to do this YouTube video thing, and that is a way to keep these videos a little short. Otherwise, I tend to talk forever, right? I've got the first few episodes planned out, and because AI is really an emerging technology, and we're learning more and more about its impact over time. So I want to just plan out the first few episodes and add more to it as over time as I learn more. Right. The other thing I want to acknowledge is that I'm going to be focusing at least the first few episodes on a subset of issues concerning AI. There are many other ethical concerns that people typically talk about that I think it's just a lot of people are talking about it. I don't need to be, right? Things like data privacy, things like misinformation, environmental impact of AI, intellectual property, right? The one that I think that is really quite interesting, I don't have a plan to talk about, but maybe in the future, is this idea of is AI a existential crisis, right? So scenarios where really AI go wrong, right? Think I don't know, Cylons in Battlestar Galactica, think Skynet in Terminator universe, right? I think that's an interesting topic, but it's to me not so near term. So I kind of reserve the right to talk about it later without getting into it because I know some people are going to ask, right? So right now, no plan to talk about it. So with that, coming up is episode 1. I'm going to talk about this idea called the tyranny of efficiency. It's actually a big picture idea that, when I say big picture, is really applicable to all technology. It's not just AI specific, but it's really good grounding information to get our heads around some concerns about AI. Right? It's this idea of tyranny of efficiency is something I've been wanting to discuss for a long time, so I'm kind of really looking forward to actually do it. I've been wanting to teach it for 3-4 years now, just didn't find a space in my courses, right? So with that, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I will see you in episode 1.